been killed for 100 years, built on the salt of 1,000 fears. Nothing gets in and nothing gets out. It's a reinforced heart in the city of doubt. The sower is walking the shoulder of the road, carrying a heavy and a holy load. He's flinging the light on the cold black oil, but there isn't any hunger in the local soil. The hardened tarmac, the frozen ground, where the echo of the hammer is the only sound. The birds are circling, the drones are near, picking at the truth before it hits the ear. No depth in the asphalt, no room for the sea. Just a scavenger clutching to a cold, hard breeze. The sea hits the surface with a metallic ring. It doesn't find a crack, it doesn't find a thing. The crows of the sprawl have a digital eye. They drop from the wire and they swoop from the sky. 1 second of static, 1 moment of pride, and the word is forgotten on the outside. We're paving the garden to build a machine, forgetting that the heart was meant to be green. Some fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured it up. Woo! Woo! Green shoot rose from the floor of the plant, trying to breathe where the process is pad. But the walls are humming with a parasitic buzz, and the air is thick with the data dust fuzz. Tangled copper vines dropping down from the rack, wrapping around the stem, and they're holding it back. A high voltage hunger, a digital greed, siphoning the life from the struggle of the seed. The choking circuitry, the voices in the wire, burning out the spirit in the electrical fire. The cares of the system, the noise of the crowd. The signal is silent, the static is loud. Rapid in copper, binding in lead, soaking out the truth until the witness is dead. You're worried about the quota, you're worried about the line. You're staring at the screen and you're losing the sign. Every notification is a thorn in the side, with 1,000 distractions and nowhere to hide. The riches of the ruins, the pull of the gear. It's a low frequency hum that's drowning the ear. You can't hear the architect, you can't hear the call, when the choking circuitry is covering the wall. Green shoot rose. The cares of this world, amid the deceitfulness of riches. Shout the word! Found it in a bin of discarded parts, a microchip closed with 1 billion starts. Smaller than a rivet, lighter than a hair. You wouldn't even know that the power was there. The experts laughed and they tossed it aside, said the circuit was dead and the logic had died. But I cleaned off the carbon, I cleared out the dust, and I placed all my weight in a scavenger's trust. The mustard seed generator, the smallest of them all, turning on the lights in the middle of the fall. From a single spark to a burning sun, watch the intestino take over. Be good, it's growing in the gears. It's climbing up the wall. The tiny component is ruling it all. Now the sector is humming, the darkness is fled. The machine is alive and the hungry are fed. Birds of the wasteland are nesting in the wires, warming their wings by the holy fires. It started as a speck in the palm of a hand. Now it's the only power left in the land. Don't mock the beginning, don't sneer at the small, because the architect's seed is the king of the sprawl. The kingdom of heaven is like a grain which a man took and sowed in his field. It becomes a tree. Scanning the rail cage on Sector 7, looking for a spark in the absence of heaven. Moving the mountains of rusted out tin, where the shadows are thick and the oxygen's thin. I tripped on a latch in the floor of the waste, found a box made of iron and finished every scrap in the sprawl. The hidden treasure, the Sector 7 find, leaving every other piece of junk behind. Sell the tools, sell the gear, the only thing that matters is waiting right here. It's buried in the dust, it's headed in the rust, the greatest recovery in a scavenger's trust. They called me a fool when I sold off the truck, said I'd lost my mind and I'd run out of luck. But they didn't see what was under the plate. They didn't see the value, they only saw the weight. I gave up the copper, I gave up the gold, for the one pure secret that cannot be sold. I bought the whole field just to get to the prize, with a smile on my face and the fire in my eyes. Matthew 13. The treasure hidden in the field, which a man found and hid. For joy he goes and sells. I've been a merchant of the fractured and frayed, dealing in the deals that the desperate made. I've seen a million pistons, a billion valves, looking for the component that finally solves the rattling in the chest and the leak in the soul, trying to make the broken machinery whole. I've traded in the generic and the mass-produced, but the tension in the wires never got loose. The one pure part, the flawless design, the only component that's truly divine. I sold the warehouse, I cleared the shelf, I gave up the pile to find myself. One perfect bearing, one stainless core. I don't need the scrap or the sprawl anymore. It was sitting in the palm of a master's hand. The only thing that wasn't task. I traded my status, I traded my name. I walked out of the market, and I'm not the same. They say I'm a failure with nothing to show, but I got the pride that the world doesn't know. Matthew 13, seeking beautiful pearls, who when it found one sold all that he had. Sold all that he had. The net was cast in the sea of steel, dragging the depths for the things that are real. Every component, every scrap, every part is pulled from the sludge of the city's heart. The belt is moving, the clock is on the wall, a massive collection from the great white sprawl. Everything's gathered in a tangled heap, but only the functional are destined to keep. The great filter, the end of the line, sorting the waste from the pure design. Sit on the bank, gather the good, burn the remaining, let the wasteland shine into the vessel, out of the sight. The system is judging the wrong from the right. The angels of the furnace are standing by the tray, throwing the useless and the broken away. The slag and the dross and the counterfeit gear are destined for the fire that's burning right here. You can't hide the cracks in a coat of new paint. The filter is honest, it knows what you ain't. It's not about the brand or the label you wore, it's about the soul when you hit the floor. master in the front office glow. Oh, 10,000 lifetimes, nowhere left to go. The ledger was a mountain, the debt was a sea. I begged for more time on a bended knee, but the foreman didn't bargain, he didn't demand. He took a red pen and a steady scarred hand. He wrote paid in full across the whole life and sent me back out from the hunger and the strife. The unforgiving Foreman, the ledger in the eye, forgetting the mercy from the master on high. I grabbed the brother, I took him by the throat for the price of a rivet, for the cost of a coat. Thrown in the hold, locked in the gears, paying the debt for 1,000,000 years. I found a fellow worker on the assembly floor. He owed me a pittance, just a scrap and no more. I forgot the rent and I forgot the grace. I put the weight of the system right into his face. Pay what you owe me every hour, every bolt. I started a riot, I started a revolt, but the master was watching from the mezzanine floor, and the mercy I was given isn't there anymore. Matthew 18. I forgave you all that debt. Should you not also have had compassion? Deliver him to the tormentors! I clocked in at the sunrise when the air was cold and gray. I've been hauling iron through the heat of the day. My back is a map of the miles I've gone, waiting for the whistle and a setting of the scene. The contract was simple, a token for the time, a fair day's wage for a mountain to climb. But at 5 in the evening when the lights started thinning, the master brought the drifters in looking for a winning. The 11-hour higher, the scandal of the wage, a revolution written on a scavenger's page. The first are the last, the late are the same. Everybody's walking out in the architect's name. Is your eye evil? Is your heart cold? Just because the master isn't trading in gold. They barely broke a sweat while I'm drowning in the furnace in the industrial dead. We stood at the window for the payout line. I expected a bonus, I expected a sign, but the drifter got a token and I got the same. I started a riot, I called him a name. It isn't efficient, it isn't the law, but I'm looking at a mercy that I never even saw. Matthew 20. Friend, I do thee no wrong. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? So the land shall be first.
Flooded through the vents of the slum, a call to the feast for the broken and the numb. The architect is opening the great hangar door for the low and the lost and the scavengers of war. I looked at my rags, at the oil and the grime. I've been wearing these failures for a lifetime of crime. But at the threshold of the light, in the heat of the glow, he's handing out a cover for the people below. The heavy canvas, the uniform of grace, the only way to stand in the holy place. Strip off the pride, throw the rags in the fire, put on the weight of the architect's desire. It's not what you brought, it's not what you made. It's the cost of the code that the master has paid. But I saw men standing at the head of the board in a jacket or suit. He'd been trying to hoard. He thought his own merit was a clean enough thread. I don't need your canvas, is the word that he said. He looked at the master with the boast in his eye, thinking in his own rags were a good enough lie. But the lie is too pure for the threads of a man, and he couldn't survive where the glory began. Matthew 22. Friend, how did you get in here? Without a wedding garment. Body jam, hand and fought.
sun went down on the sector floor. 10 of us waiting by the hangar door. The shift is long and the air is cold, waiting for the architect to take hold. 5 of us brought the extra cans, fuel for the lanterns and the heavy fans. But 5 of us thought the night was a lie. He's never coming back to the sprawl, he cried. The midnight shift, the sudden cry, the glow of the headlights leading the sky. Check your tanks, strike the light. Who's gonna stand in the middle of the night? The door is open, the door is closed. The truth of the scavenger is finally exposed. At the stroke of 12, the engines roared. The master is back for the final board. Give us your fuel, our lamps are dry, but you can't buy a spark when the end is nigh. They ran to the market, they ran to the yard, but the gates of the sprawl are locked and barred. While the 5 with the oil walked into the feast, the others were left in the dark with the beast. Watch the for you know neither the day nor the hour.